you hear me on this? I know we've got a sound man upstairs. Can you crank it up so I don't have to hold this on top of my notes? Just set it on the edge of the table there, that'll be okay. I'll talk loud. I'm Mike Collins, and unlike everybody else at this table, I don't have a doctorate. However, I am an expert. I'm an expert on personal assistance services. I've been in this field for almost 20 years, like Mike's 20 years, that's actually 40. But like Mike and like many of my peers, I don't take holidays off like some of you. I don't get weekends off. I deal with personal assistance every day. And so I got invited to be up here on which I thought would be kind of some boring presentations. And of course, I know Mitch and Martin both, and I knew it wouldn't be boring. And I think you'll have to agree with me that the information we're starting to receive today could shake up the world of personal assistance services as we know it. What am I supposed to do? I guess I'm supposed to talk a little bit about what they talked about and what I got out of it. But I think you've all probably got a little different message here. From my personal viewpoint, this is exciting because we've got evidence that shows the cost savings that are possible with community-based care over institutional care. And for those of us who have been working and advocating to try to make some of these changes that states have instituted with waivers, this is what we've needed for years. And I think this proves the value of this project and the many others that have gone before it and will follow. I wanted to just call attention to a couple things that I picked out, and one that I want to recognize and that I'm eternally grateful for, and many other people are too, is this $200 billion investment on the part of unpaid caregivers every year, keeping us alive and keeping us active and keeping us healthy. And I know for me, if I didn't have personal assistance services, I wouldn't work. I wouldn't pay all these taxes I have to pay every year, and I wouldn't be out here talking to you today. I think as you see people on the street who have similar visible disabilities and some who don't have visible disabilities, I hope you reflect a bit on what it took for us to be out here, because it is a really valuable investment, and it doesn't matter who's making that investment, but for people who are willing to do it in an unpaid status, we love you. The fact that this Community Choice Act, or MCASA, that Mitch was talking about, might have a cost less than $3 billion. Bob Kafka, did you know that all this time when you were up there advocating for that? Well, you have evidence in your hand as you go out of this room that you can go back to the Hill and do your thing. So I'm going to encourage that to happen. I think I think one of the things we need to be aware of is that research can be exciting. When you see Dr. Mitch up here and Dr. Martin, and especially the passion that they bring to this field, you know that they've invested a lot in what they've brought forward. I'm hoping that the research that we've got here will walk out of this room with you and be used in your states and in your communities for the purpose for which it's intended. You know, and after listening to Mike Oxford, I don't want to forget the fact that I don't plan to turn 65. I've had a lifetime of choice, and I want to keep it going. So we need to get these programs set up so they do offer individuals that choice. The community-based personal assistance services and related programs are clearly the way that we need to go in this country and in this world. I think that we're making some headway. 60% isn't 100% of institutional bias, but the cost to the states is still being borne in large part by the states. Every dollar that they get from the federal government has to be matched, and so we need to look at these waivers. We need to look at the fact that states are sticking with waivers instead of putting these programs into their state plans, because it does allow them the flexibility to provide more services, and it does allow them to change on an annual basis if their own deficits in their state budgets, which seem to occur quite frequently, reoccur. So we need to respect the ability for these waivers to serve as many people as possible, encourage it to happen in those states that don't yet use them, and look at ways that the program itself through Medicaid can be modified to make it universally available and accessible to people with disabilities. I don't have much more to say other than I'm excited about this, and it's hard to get me excited about anything, but I really think there are probably a lot of great comments out in that audience, and I would hope that we can answer some of those while we have these gentlemen at the microphone.
Great, thank you.
Okay.